Life will test you emotionally before it rewards you financially, professionally, or spiritually. It will frustrate you before it elevates you. It will provoke you before it promotes you. And if you react to every emotion you feel, you will sabotage your own progress. That is why emotional control is one of the greatest skills you will ever develop. Your emotions are real. Anger is real. Fear is real. Jealousy is real. Sadness is real. But just because they are real does not mean they should lead your decisions. Emotions are signals, not commands. They are messengers, not masters. The problem begins when you allow temporary feelings to create permanent consequences. Most people destroy opportunities not because they lack talent, but because they lack emotional discipline. They speak when they should stay silent. They quit when they should stay consistent. They explode when they should stay composed. In heated moments, weak emotional control costs careers, relationships, respect, and growth. Strength is staying calm when disrespected. Strength is thinking clearly when everyone else is reacting. Strength is walking away when your ego wants to prove a point. Anyone can react. Few can respond with intention. When you feel anger, pause. When you feel fear, analyze. When you feel rejection, reflect. The gap between stimulus and response is where power lies. In that small space, you decide who you are going to be. Emotional maturity means you don't let your mood dictate your mission. Some days you will not feel motivated. Work anyway. Some days you will feel insecure. Show up anyway. Some days you will feel like quitting. Continue anyway. Success belongs to those who act based on commitment, not emotion. Your feelings change daily. Your goals should not. Think about how many dreams die because someone felt discouraged for a week. How many relationships end because someone reacted in anger for 5 minutes? How many careers collapse because of one emotional decision? Emotional reactions are temporary. Consequences are lasting. You must train your mind the way an athlete trains their body. Control requires repetition. It requires awareness. It requires catching yourself in the moment and saying, this feeling will not control me. A fear says, don't try.
What?
Discipline says, try anyway. Anger says, wreck now. Wisdom says, wait. Insecurity says, you're not enough. Growth says, improve. You emotions will always speak. The question is, who has the final vote? Life will disrespect you sometimes. People will misunderstand you. Situations will frustrate you. If you react emotionally to every challenge, you will always feel unstable. But when you build emotional control, you become dangerous in the best way. Calm under pressure, focused under stress, clear under chaos. Emotional control does not mean becoming cold or heartless. It means you choose when and how to express what you feel. It means you do not let anger turn into destruction. It means you do not let sadness turn into surrender. It means you do not let fear turn into paralysis. The strongest people are not emotionless. They are disciplined with their emotions. Imagine the power of being unshakable. Someone insults you. A setback happens. You adapt. A delay frustrates you. You stay patient. That level of control builds respect automatically. People trust stability. Opportunities favor stability. Leadership requires stability. You cannot control everything that happens to you, but you can control how long you stay down. You can control your tone. You can control your response. You can control whether you let one bad moment ruin your entire day. Mastering your emotions also means mastering your ego. The ego wants validation. It wants to win arguments. It wants to be right. But growth often requires humility. Sometimes silence is more powerful than a perfect comeback. Sometimes walking away is more powerful than winning. Emotional control gives you clarity, and clarity gives you power. When you are calm, you think strategically. When you are reactive, you think impulsively. Strategic thinking builds empires. Impulsive thinking destroys them. If you want to elevate your life, elevate your emotional discipline. Stop posting your anger. Stop announcing your frustration. Stop making decisions when you are overwhelmed. Step back. Breathe, think long-term, because long-term thinkers win long-term games. There will be days you feel heavy, days you feel overlooked, days you feel tired of trying. Feel it, but do not let it define you. Acknowledge the emotion, then act according to your values, not your mood. That is maturity. The world respects results, and results come from consistency. Consistency requires emotional control. So train yourself to pause before reacting. Train yourself to detach from unnecessary drama. Train yourself to separate feelings from facts. Not everything that feels urgent is important. Not everything that feels personal is intentional. The more emotionally stable you become, the less people can control you. And that is real freedom. When you master your emotions, you master yourself. And when you master yourself, you become unstoppable. So don't kill your emotions. Understand them. Control them. Channel them. Use them as fuel, not as fire that burns your future, because life rewards those who stay steady when others fall apart, and that level of power begins within. Good. If you're asking for a deeper explanation, it means you don't just want hype. You want understanding. Let's break this down properly. First, when people say, kill your emotions, what they usually mean is stop letting your emotions control your decisions. But here's the truth. You cannot kill your emotions. They are biological. They are wired into your nervous system. Fear protects you. Anger signals boundaries. Sadness signals loss. Joy reinforces connection. Emotions are data. The problem is not having them. The problem is obeying them blindly. Emotional control starts with awareness. Most people react before they think. Something happens, they feel something, and they act immediately. That's the dangerous cycle. But high-level performers interrupt that pattern. Tension, something happens, they feel something, they pause, they choose their response. That pause is everything. That pause is maturity. That pause is power. Let's talk about anger. Anger itself is not weakness. Uncontrolled anger is. Anger can show you where you feel disrespected or treated unfairly. But when you explode, you lose leverage. You lose clarity. You say things you cannot take back. Emotionally strong people don't suppress anger. They delay expression until they can communicate it strategically. They respond when calm, not when triggered. Now, fear. Fear is not your enemy. It is a survival mechanism. But in modern life, fear often overreacts. It tells you not to take risks, not to speak up, not to try something new. If you follow fear every time, your life becomes smaller. Emotional mastery means recognizing fear without surrendering to it. You feel it, and you move anyway. That's courage. Sadness is another misunderstood emotion. Many people try to numb it, distract it, escape it, but unprocessed sadness turns into long-term bitterness or emotional shutdown. Emotional maturity means allowing yourself to feel without letting it consume your direction. You can be disappointed and still disciplined. You can be hurt and still hopeful. Here's a critical point. Emotional control is not emotional suppression. Suppression is pushing feelings down and pretending they don't exist. That builds pressure. Control is acknowledging the feeling, understanding it, and choosing the right behavior anyway. Suppression says, I don't feel this. Control says, I feel this, but I decide what happens next. Let's talk about discipline versus mood. If you rely on motivation, you'll fail often. Because motivation is emotional. It fluctuates. Some days you'll feel powerful. Some days you won't. If your actions depend on how you feel, your progress will always be unstable. But if your actions depend on commitment, you become consistent. And consistency beats intensity every time. Emotionally reactive people live in short-term thinking. They want immediate relief, immediate validation, immediate revenge. Emotionally disciplined people think long-term. They ask, if I act on this emotion right now, how will it affect me next week, next year? That long-term lens changes everything. Ego is another emotional trap. Ego is emotional attachment to being right, being superior, being validated. It makes you argue when silence would elevate you. It makes you compete when collaboration would grow you. It makes you defensive when humility would strengthen you. Killing ego, not emotions, is often the real key. Emotional control also directly impacts leadership. If you cannot regulate yourself, you cannot lead others. People feel your stability. They observe your reactions. If you panic, they panic. If you stay calm, they feel safe. Emotional steadiness builds trust faster than charisma ever will. There's also a neurological reality here. When emotions spike, especially anger or fear, your brain shifts towards survival mode. The logical, strategic part of your brain becomes less active. That means your worst decisions are often made in your most emotional moments. That's why the rule is simple: never make permanent decisions in temporary emotional states. Let's get practical. How do you build emotional control? First, slow your response time. You don't have to answer immediately. You don't have to react instantly. Delay creates clarity. Second, question your interpretation. Often it's not the event that hurts you, it's the story you attach to it. Ask yourself, is this fact or assumption? Third, separate identity from emotion. Instead of saying, I am angry, say, I feel angry. That small language shift reminds you the emotion is temporary. It is not who you are. Fourth, build stress tolerance. Exercise, discipline, cold exposure, hard tasks. The more discomfort you voluntarily face, the less reactive you become under pressure. Finally, reflect regularly. Emotional awareness grows when you review your reactions and learn from them. Here's the ultimate truth: emotional mastery is self-mastery. When no one can easily trigger you, you are free. When setbacks don't shake your identity, you are powerful. When praise doesn't inflate you and criticism doesn't destroy you, you are stable. The goal is not to become cold. The goal is to become centered. Centered people are dangerous, not in aggression, but in effectiveness. They move calmly. They decide clearly. They act deliberately. They don't waste energy on drama. They conserve it for purpose. So don't aim to kill your emotions. Aim to understand them. Aim to regulate them. Aim to use them as signals, not steering wheels. Because when you control your emotions, you control your direction. And when you control your direction, you control your future.